All right, y'all. Thank you for your patience. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. I'm going to look at AUD USD. Right now, we're in the Tokyo Sydney session. During this time, the Australian dollar and the Japanese yen, these pairs move a lot. They are very active during this time because this is the time that those currencies are being used, exchanged, traded. That is the session we're in. So real quick, like I mentioned earlier when I was looking through the IML Academy, you always want to have a confirmation checklist before you enter into a trade. So you want to have at least, somewhere between 5 and 7 confirmations. The more the merrier, the more the better. First thing I like to look at is the stochastic indicator, this thing right here. This tells us whether a currency is overbought or oversold. If it is oversold, that means these lines are below 20, and it indicates a good buying opportunity because the market does have to balance itself out. Same thing when the market is overbought, which is indicated when these lines right here are over 80. Over 80, overbought. Under 20, oversold. So when it's overbought, that means it's a good selling opportunity. And you can see that it does move in line with the market, right? And you can also see the next thing I'm about to go over. Look for these letter patterns in the market, as well as these triple tops, which I'm going to go over here right now. Because once you draw this out and you look at this, you'll see the market forms some interesting shapes, right? Some interesting letters, to be more specific. What does that look like? Well, it looks like the first letter to money. Pretty cool, right? You'll see this constantly throughout the market. You're going to see M's and W's, right? You see one W right there. Win money. Very interesting. So how do you know if you're drawing this stuff out correctly? Well, I'll show you real quick. Let's go back over here because you definitely want to be able to make sure you're marking this up correctly. So real quick, we're going to go over how candles open and how they close, okay? So for instance, a good way to understand that is by looking at these wicks, these really thin lines right here. Whenever you see a wick, right, for instance, on this one, for example, when you see this wick going up, that means that the market tried to go up, was looking for buyers to go up, but there were not enough buyers. So the price went up here real quick. And then before that hourly candle was closed, it came back down here and it closed right here. Okay, this is where it closed. And then it started a new candle right here. It started going up. So remember, we're on the hourly chart, okay? We're on the hourly chart. So that means each one of these candles is 1 hour. All right, 1 hour. And it does not close until an hour has elapsed. So, somewhere near the end of this hour, the market was looking for buyers. It was shooting up, didn't find enough to support the price being up here on this particular candle. So it went up and then it closed. Now, the green ones obviously are the ones going up. The red ones are going down. So when you're drawing this out, make sure you're looking at that correctly. Now, when you see this right here, you see green candles next to red candles. Essentially, you see, a small uptrend next to a small downtrend, but it's not really going anywhere. That's called consolidation. It's just going sideways. Okay. You can, if you want to be super specific with it, super accurate with it, sure, you can draw it out. But remember, on these green candles, it closes right here at the top. On the red ones, it closes at the bottom, okay? Green closes out the top, red closes at the bottom. Now you can change these colors to whatever you want. But for me, I've got green going up, red going down. So just so you guys know about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw this out real quick. Come down, we'll come down to this one. And then pretty much, hold on, let me move this one out the way real quick. Came up here, went back down there. So if you once you look at this long enough, once you look at the charts long enough, you know, you can back test this, look in the past. You'll see these M and W patterns like literally all over the place. The reason being is because 94.5% of the market volume, meaning the money in the market, is controlled by big banks, school institutions, governments, you know, huge corporations, you know, usually those giant corporations, those juggernaut corporations, and they do have the market on a pattern, right? This is no secret either. This is just how it works. So this is one of the patterns you're going to see a lot occurring a lot. So that's one element to it. Okay, so you definitely want to draw this stuff out. Draw these things out. Try to be as accurate as possible. Look at the stochastic. Look at this indicator. You can also use the MACD, which also indicates whether a currency is overbought or oversold. And then another thing you want to look at, if you see this on here, then that's another great indication. What I'm talking about is this triple top right here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. So you see the market came up here. This wick came up and hit some resistance up here, which I'll draw out real quick. It's hitting some resistance at about right here. Go ahead and write that real quick. Got some resistance here. What color should I make it? What color? What color? Let's just make it blue. So we got some resistance coming up here, right? And then another thing we also see is this triple top right here. The triple top is when you see 3 points, 3 wicks, right, hitting resistance. It went up, hit resistance, came back down, went up again, hit some more resistance, came back down, went up again, hit some more resistance, and then came back down again. Essentially, that's when the market is losing, or when that's when the market, when that particular pair is losing its momentum, right? It's losing its momentum of whatever direction it's going in. To make that one yellow. So let me put it a little closer to that so you can see that it's on those wicks. One, two, three. And I'll just move this one up here. So we see this triple tear, right? Not only did we see the M pattern, not only did we see at this point that this currency was overbought. It was above 80, right? Here's 80. It was about 84, between 80 and 84. Overbought. We see the M pattern. We see this triple top right here that formed. And right after that triple top, what happened? We got a huge downtrend. Nice downtrend right here. That would have been a nice selling opportunity right there. Really nice. Okay. Another thing that we can look at, something I always like to say, look to the left. And IML, a lot of the educators on IML say the same thing. This is the ones I learned it from. Look to the left to see what's going to happen on the right. We see another, kind of a slight M pattern here.
Hey, Vaughn, when you finish this, can you go over divergence too?
Yeah. So we see this another triple top here. There's more than that, but it's at least triple top. You've got that spike there, and then these little spikes here, then you've got a huge downtrend. And really just seeing, the connection here between this one and this one. What happens on the left usually happens on the right. Very often it happens on the right. So you've got the M pattern, and then you've got W pattern, which I will show you right here. Remember earlier I said AUD USD was on an uptrend, and here's why. Very, very easy to see. We've got that W pattern. We've got the triple bottom now, which is the same exact thing as a triple top. It's just on the bottom. Okay, same thing as this. 1, 2, 3, drop. Except on here, it's 1, 2, 3, rise. Okay, I'll go ahead and mark that on there too for you. Got 1, 2, oops, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, rise. It's currently on the rise right now. Not just that, it's oversold, and you can even see that it's on the rise. It's indicated by this stochastic indicator. It's on the rise. And a thing I like to see too, before I jump in these trades, I like to see some movement downwards, right? Let me move this over here. I like to see some movement. Like if I was looking for a sell, I like to see this, I like to see this curve right here. I like to see it going down. Same thing when I'm looking, if I'm expecting a buy. I like to see this curve going up, right? You can kind of see the W and the M's in this indicator. That's what I like to see before I jump in the trade. I like to see that confirmation, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go over what divergence is real quick. Let's see. Let me find a good example here. Let's see this right here. Boom, boom. Get that. Came back up to here. That's not really one. Let's see. Boom, came up here. Came back. Okay, so here's one right here. Divergence essentially, it tells us when whatever the current trend is, they tells us when it's losing momentum. So how do we know that? So we're gonna start here, okay? Look here at this candle, this huge green candle, and then look down here as well. All right, look down here. So the market was just on a drop, and then it started going on an uptrend. Just go ahead and follow it. Follow the indicator. You see this line right here, this dotted line. We're gonna follow that on this chart, on these candles, as well as down here. So it's going on an uptrend, going on an uptrend, came all the way up here, right? Came all the way up here. Now you would think, because look, once I get to this point, you see that hill right here. Let me go ahead and let me put something there so we can keep that. Let me put something there. Peak. Let's make this white. Peak. See this peak here? We see the peak right about here. So you would think that once the market comes up here, you would think you would see another, you'd think this would go higher than just this, But what what do you see? Really not much of a difference. You see this small dip right here, which was due to this small downtrend that happened right here. But you would think that once the market's up here, that this will be higher, but it's not. That's because this uptrend, this huge uptrend, is losing its momentum. That's what divergence is. All right, it's when it's losing its momentum, and that's indicated when this doesn't totally match up with this, and it's only for like a small instant, right? It's only for this small space here. And again, what did we see once we get to this point? We see it hit some resistance. Okay, hit some resistance, came back down, went up again, hit the same point of resistance, went a little farther down, came up again, hit resistance, and then it went on this long drop here. So again, we're gonna start here, moving on up. Here's the peak, right? Here's the peak, which is right about here. And then it goes even higher. But we do not see much of an indication of that in the indicator because the uptrend is losing its momentum. And you can see that because the market is trying to go down. It's fighting to go down. It came up, hit this resistance, went down just a little bit, went back up again, hit resistance, then went down a lot farther, went up again, hit resistance again, and then it went down really far for a huge sell. So that is an example of divergence, and that is another awesome indication, another confirmation that the trend is changing. All right, the trend is changing. You want to see when that trend is changing. So real quick, I would like to open the floor to questions. If you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask. And if you don't want to use the audio, you can go ahead and write in the chat your question. I'm about to pull that up right now so I can see any questions that you have.
Vaughn, this is Terry.
Hey, what's up?
When did you start studying? Did you start studying all this when you just first started with IML, or were you already kind of dabbling in it already?
So I was, I was and still am dabbling, or not dabbling, but trading stocks. I'm investing in stocks. I like to hold and buy them. But when I started learning Forex is really when I started understanding financial markets a lot more. I use the resources in our IML Academy, like the Fibonacci, the Bollinger Bands, the Elliott Wave. And then I also use other resources. Like there's a lot of information you can find that will add to your knowledge, in IML, such as watching videos on YouTube and stuff like that.
Okay, so you've just jumped head into it as far as learning it.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, because every time I try to sit there and learn, I'm going to sleep because it's like learning a whole new foreign language to me.
Right. If you get in here and mark up the charts, you watch these videos, you mark up the charts, it's really going to help you get acclimated to it. And, once you see your strategies work and once you see your analysis is right, it gets really fun.
Okay.
It gets really fun.
Well, I appreciate all y'all do on the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
what you do is you have to back test. Whatever you do, you have to back test.
Yeah, you got to back test for sure. Like I've been doing this for less than a year, investing in Forex and learning Forex. And I've definitely learned a lot in a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
and it's been very effective, you know what I'm saying? So it's really just about studying. And like I said, getting in here and actually marking up the charts, because that's going to help you, learn it quickly, very quickly.
Okay.
You have any
That's what I'm trying to figure out how to shorten my learning curve.
This is definitely a way to do it. This is a very simple and effective strategy. Like this checklist that I just went through.
Yeah.
If you want to use Trading View, it's totally free to use. You put this stochastic. I'll show you how to put this indicator on. That's a big part of my strategy. You go to Trading View. You click Indicators. Once you click it, you'll just scroll down to stochastic.
Don't show it in your learning curve. Enjoy that process of learning. Don't show it in your learning curve.
Okay.
When it hit, it's gonna hit.
Okay.
Like I've heard some people say there was a foreign language to one day they had a dream and they just woke up.
And which is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was the same way with IML training is a lot different than when I first started. Because when I first started, it was rough. It was rough to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's rough to watch. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, but then I had to. You're here because you see what it can do.
Right.
So it's just like anything else. When you don't understand something, you have to go outside. Like IML isn't end all be all.
Right. It's just the beginning.
Right. And then with you learning something, of course we all,
and then we all differently.
Right. Exactly. And I'm probably one of the worst. I'm a hands-on learner.
Yes.
I can't sit at no computer.
Right.
I found like YouTube videos and stuff, and then one day it just clicked, and I started back testing, and I was testing on demo, and it just clicked.
Right.
And that's just one strategy. And then the thing is too, you just have to find what works for you. Like we all have different trading styles, but at the end of the day, when you break it down, it's all really the same thing. But we just understand it a little different. You know, like a lot of times when Vaughn's training and then I'm going off of different training and I'm tweaking something that I'm learning or I'm teaching, I'd be like, oh, that's what Vaughn was saying.
Right.
You know? So, and then I see how it all correlates together.
Okay, now I see what they're talking about, because somebody else says the same thing, but just say it in a different way.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I'm a hands-on more hands-on person. So if you sit there and you're preaching to me about it, sometimes I'm just like, okay, I can understand Spanish and German better than I can understand what this, what may be sick, as opposed to being hands-on.
Mm-hmm. So if any of you want some hands-on training, what we can do is we can set up, a day. We're allowed to go one-on-one with you, and we can, I'll have you mark up the charts and everything. We can do a Zoom webinar, and you can mark up the charts, and I'll guide you and whatnot. If that's something you want to do, let me know.
Okay.
But definitely getting in there and doing this is going to help you.
Have any of y'all went to any of the boot camps yet?
The boot camps? What do you mean?
They've been having boot camps around the nation. I know they got one in December in Nashville that I think I'm gonna go to. I was wondering if it's the same thing. Is that what they're doing at the boot camps, the Forex boot camps?
Okay,
They just
I know what you're talking about.
Detroit.
Yeah, they do. It's basically like a trade house. They'll go in there and train you hands on. What state are you in, Terry?
I'm in Kentucky.
In Kentucky.
Yeah, I've seen some camps out here too, and Vaughn, they're like $150 get in, and they basically sit you in groups. And I thought about going. Just my schedule is so crazy.
See, that's my only thing is I think they're covering like 3 days, I think, and I'm thinking like, who's got that type of time off? But I ain't got it like that.
Yeah, I'm
Plus Reggie's in Nashville, so I've been trying to get down there anyway.
Yeah, the next time I see one out here in Atlanta, I am definitely going. I will suggest if you see something, like go.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go to the one, even if I can't go to the whole thing. I think I'm gonna try to go to Nashville.
For sure.
Okay,
because this is something that could change your whole family's lives. Yeah.
Okay, well, I know I need to get my stuff popping, and every time I sit down and I'm trying to think, I'm going 50 million directions. I really appreciate. I just can't say enough how much I appreciate all of y'all, Aaron and Martell and Vaughn, all y'all put just all the knowledge and information that y'all keep putting out to the team. I just wanted to have this opportunity just to say thank you.
Oh yeah,
I know it's like one day, but I just appreciate just everything that y'all doing as far as pouring out to the team. It's unbelievable.
Thank you.
No problem, because I remember when I first started, man, I didn't know what the trend line. Why are we marking this stuff up? What is this? What does that mean? Like I didn't know what the heck. And the thing about me, I was in school at the time, so I was trying to learn 3 things. I was in the school, and I was doing IML, and then I was calling Aaron every day. Aaron, what is these wiggly lines? Like, what am I looking at?
Right.
But once you take that time and you just really got to devote that time, even if you do like 30 minutes a day.
Right.
Just devote that time. It'll click. I used to watch the same video like 3-4 times.
Okay. Well, I think that's what I'm gonna need to do. Because I just tweaked my 401k, and I didn't know I could take money out. So I'm sure getting ready to pull some money out to really put into this and get it flipped. Hopefully, prayerfully. All right. Well, thank y'all. That's all I needed. That was all my questions.
Okay, appreciate you, Terry. Anybody else have any questions about anything? Anything at all?
Yeah, do you ever use or have you ever used call levels?
I know what you're talking about. I have not used call levels, but that is a great way to alert yourself when the market is at a certain price.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great tool to use. Like if you're not looking at it. Me personally, I only trade when I can actively look at the trade. But call levels is a great way to alert yourself when the market hits a certain price.
Yeah, I have it on my phone, and it's like wherever I am, it'll send me a message, and I'll find somewhere and go jump on right quick, see what it's talking about.
Yeah, it's a great app.
Yeah. How you doing, Vaughn?
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm just, everything's fine. I just wanted to again say thanks for all the help and everything. And I know, I studied IT in college, and I know for a fact that with you using a new platform and everything like this, it's going to take time, because I just noticed, even as you were navigating trading view and everything, learning how to navigate and put in certain highlights and things like that. I played around with it quite a bit today. That's the only way you're really going to learn it, is you got to just get into it and find out, like the little kid, what does this button do? You know what I mean? And so that's what I've been doing, and I've progressed quite a bit, and it's coming along. And again, like I said, I'll be listening out for the signals, and I have my alarms and everything set. And aside from that, really, I've been quite pleased by and large. I've made some trades. I have a live account now. During that time when JEFX was having all the glitches and stuff, I went over to LMFX, and I've been dealing with them. I will open an account up with JEFX probably next week. But like I say, by and large, everything's going pretty well. I have made some money. I tell you what I put in there, as they say in the presentations and everything, I have more money in there now than the bank would have given me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
That's great.
I'm doing pretty good, and I have some pending trades now. So I'm going to close my eyes for a couple of hours and then get back up and get back on it again. And I just wanted to say thanks, man. If I have any questions, I'll be sure and reach out to you. And is Martell still on? I don't know if he's on. He might be muted, but I hope he got everything straightened out with his computer, because I know he broke it earlier. I was watching the post and everything.
Yeah, I'm taking my computer tomorrow to see about getting it fixed.
Well, they can fix it, all right. It's a matter of how much it's going to cost, but I mean, they can fix
Right.
it, because they fixed mine too. When you buy them, just make sure that you get the full warranty on them, because stuff like that will happen. Like I told you, man, I spilled a drink all over mine, and I had that computer a week.
Man, the crazy part about what happened yesterday was nobody was home. Like, nobody was home. My computer was sitting on the table. I opened my computer and the screen was cracked. I was like, what in the world? Somebody broke in my house and just cracked my computer screen and left. It was like, what in the world?
Well, I have one question. I have one question to that mystery right there. Were there any kids in the house?
Nah, everybody was with me. Nobody was home.
That's weird, that man. But
Man,
I don't know. It could have been a matter of temperature and pressure. If there was any abnormalities with the weather, that could have.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. But one thing about I think what made it hurt so bad was that I had nobody to blame. You feel better when you got somebody to blame. I had nobody to blame, man. So I had to put all of that in.
So you couldn't vent or anything. You just had to hold it in and keep it bottled up. Huh?
Right.
Oh man.
Sit there with the "don't talk to me" face.
Yeah, I know you. I was feeling you on that one, man. And I'm just glad. I mean, some days, we have misfortune to pop up, but we just have to keep moving forward. Like my man, had some issues at his home and stuff, but I'm glad everything worked out for him, and he was able to recover everything. And that's like I said, man, I feel him on that one. That's I had some experiences with that when I was a child, and I'm just glad everything worked out. So thoughts and prayers to everybody, and just you'll always be in my thoughts and prayers every day. And I wish you the best, and just
Appreciate that.
Hey, thanks, Brian.
You're
That's
welcome,
what's
my
up,
man.
man. I really do appreciate your words. And I'm glad to see that you're making money. You're making progress. That's awesome. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, any of y'all, please let us know. I got to go ahead and wrap up this video. It is recorded, so I will be posting this in our group. Again, appreciate you guys for being here. I do this for y'all, and I also learn, I learn something new every time I do this training. So have another great day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the chat.
Okay, my man. You take care. God bless.
God bless y'all.